All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Hill, your SMAR 2020 president, along with your SMAR CEO, Richard Marshall. As part of our continuing industry leadership interview series, today we're sitting down with one of our corporate sponsors, Mike O'Brien with O'Brien Realty. First and foremost, Mike, again, thank you for all you do and your support of SMAR. So to start off, how are you and your family and your team at O'Brien Realty doing?
Oh, we're doing great. I think in the beginning we were a little nervous about how the COVID virus was going to impact us, especially our customers and clients. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to, get them to cooperate with us and, be able to continue to function effectively in the marketplace.
Right.
So all in all, I think we're pretty happy with where we are.
So that's really perfect because it leads right into my first question is, what market issues are you seeing currently in Southern Maryland, and how do you see the balance of 2020, 2021 unfolding in Southern Maryland specifically? How do you see that? What's your crystal ball say?
Crystal ball. I think that we've been able to educate buyers and sellers in how they need to go about the process of selecting property. And I think everyone should be doing approximately the same thing, but we're instructing sellers to turn on all the lights, to open all the doors, to not be present, and to allow a short period of time, maybe 15 minutes at most, for people to walk through the house. We're instructing our buyers that they're supposed to bring their own PPE. They're not to touch anything as they go through the house. They should wear a mask out of courtesy to the family that's opened their house up to them. And basically retreat from that position and then have the discussions and the rest of the, follow-up that goes with, a showing outside the home, in another setting. So we're minimizing the exposure, for both parties as much as we can. And that seems to work. And then the other thing is that we're doing is we're stacking appointments. So if a family is concerned about having strangers in their house, we can set a date, a particular day, and then schedule 4 or 5 showings, in 15 or 20-minute increments.
Right.
So we don't have people running into each other, and the family has a block of time that they need to be out of the house, and then they can come back in. And of course, if we could make wipes available for everybody, but when they come back, they need to sort of disinfect their house.
Right.
Go through just in case and clean it up. So it's more of an inconvenience to show a home than it's ever been, but we're still getting it done.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's part of it. The other half of your question is, what do I see going forward? And about 3 years ago, we made a concentrated effort to bring our online tools up to speed, especially with regard to 3Ds and videos and professional photography. And so I think we came into this market, having a very good, high-profile image on the internet, and I think that's helped us a lot. But I think going forward, this is going to accelerate the adoption of the new technologies that are available. And especially in the areas of videos and 3D, I think that more and more salespeople are going to look at that as the primary tool, in getting your listing information out there. And you're going to have to make a really good, image in order to get people to respond to that particular property. So I think that, the number of salespeople that are using the tools are going to go up. The ones that don't use the tools are probably going to find that their market share will go down. And it's just the future is going to move a little bit quicker because of this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think it's at a rocket pace right now, and I just think it's just going to get faster and faster.
Yeah, it's going to be a constant challenge to stay up to date and stay at the top of your game. You're just going to have to relearn systems over and over again.
Yeah.
Let me jump in if I could, guys. Mike, first and foremost, I'd also, like Chris did, I want to thank you as well in participating in our sponsorship program and taking the time and the effort to help us along with that. It's a key part of, as you well know, it's a key part of SMAR's success is having our membership actually get behind the organization. So with saying that, I definitely personally want to thank you for what you've done this year. With regard to your sponsorship and your involvement in our strategic planning and so forth. So just wanted to say that. My question for you is twofold. During the last couple months, obviously, as we all know, we've had to make some changes and so forth. And I'm curious to know how you and how you've actually stayed in touch with your brokerage and your agents, how you've done that. And what successes in doing so have you had, and what challenges have you encountered in that process?
Well, the first thing that we've started, instead of having office meetings in the office, we've gone to virtual meetings and used Zoom and some of the other products. And what's interesting is we have more people attending the sales meeting via Zoom than we had when we had the physical meetings here in the office. So that part's worked out really well. It's a little awkward when you can't see around the room but agents sharing information, through this vehicle is just as effective as it would be if we were all in the same room. And so there is an element of convenience of not having to come in on, traditionally we have our sales meetings on Tuesdays, and that grew out of the fact that we used to rely on the local papers that came out on Wednesday. So Tuesdays, you'd have the mock-up of the ads, and you'd be able to discuss the properties that people were going to be calling on. And back in the good old days, you'd be prepared for that phone call and then be able to work that initial interest into an appointment. And we're now doing it a different way, obviously. The internet and the cell phones and all the other modern conveniences have changed things, but still getting information to people and getting ready for the next week as far as market activity, interest rates, new listings, things that have been sold. We discuss appraisal problems and other issues. We have a lot of appraisal problems now because appraisers always lag behind price movements as they go up, and so we've been effectively as a team been able to share information that helps other people manage their transactions. So all in all, I think it's not been a bad thing. So I think we're going to continue with these virtual meetings in the future, and people that want to come in can come in, and people that want to participate through their iPad can do it that way as well.
Yeah, that's funny. I think we're doing a lot of that stuff, and we wouldn't be having these interviews, the same kind of thing. We're taking advantage of that. So, I think it's great. So, Mike, as you already know, changing and adapting to change is essential in the real estate world and to our success, right? So is there anything that you can share that's happened over the last 2 months that you think may be helpful to SMAR members, something that they could take away and as item of value, of something that over the last couple of months that you think is good for them? Is there anything you can come up with that they might want to hear?
Well, yeah, I think that one of the things the last 2 months has taught us is that it's very important that you put a lot of effort into that initial listing and the presentation that you make of your property over the internet. It seems strange that in real estate magazines you can only promote your listings, but with the way the virtual world works, literally every company, and even some people that aren't even in the real estate business, like Zillow and, these other people like HomeLight, they take that information and they have a forward customer facing platform, and in theory, promoting your property. So you're really need to do a really good front end job and project the best image you possibly can of your client's property. So that's important. And then working with buyers and answering all the questions up front before you visit property, I think it's going to make people more efficient. There'll be, you know, this crazy thing where you go out and you show 15 properties. Really, with the virtual tools that we have today, there's no reason for you to do that any longer.
Right.
So I think you can condense the amount of time that you spend at properties by doing a whole lot of effective pre-screening, you know, using the tools that are out there, the virtual tools. So I think that's going to change. I think things become a little more efficient. The other thing is I've noticed is the having to keep appointments, you know, not to rib you a little bit there, Chris, but you know, if you have a video, you know, chat that's scheduled for a time, let's put a little more structure in my work time. I've always had an open door policy, and so you have those constant interruptions. But being able to schedule time with individual salespeople where you can do the video stuff, it's allowed me to be a little more efficient, I think. So it's not all bad. You know, I see myself in the future doing a whole lot more, you know, face-to-face communication, you know, using, you know, the tools that we have today, as opposed to physically meeting with people.
Yeah. So again, Mike, I want to thank you for your time today and your insight. Do you? I don't know if you have any last words of wisdom for SMAR members, or how we can, or if there's anything we can do to help you and your brokerage from SMAR's perspective, or is there anything that you have that you'd like to close with?
No. Yeah, you were talking, asking me earlier about my crystal ball and what the future looks like. And I have no reason to be bleak about it. I think it's really positive. There are some things that cause me concern, and that is, you know, the number of companies that are coming into the marketplace and trying to acquire buyers by offering different discounts or incentives and then sell them back to the real estate community. I don't know where the board is going or where the National Association of Realtors are going, but at one time there was a movement to secure all of the data and then be able to control our activities, you know, with Realtor.com, Zillow, and all of these other sites as well. And so I'm hoping that it continue to push forward. That type of interference in our marketplace, where the customer doesn't come directly to the real estate agent, I don't particularly care for that. I don't think it's a positive thing. But you know, we're dealing with it, and we're going to have to deal with it in the future. And we are going to be seeing more referral, you know, more assigned business, more discounting. You know, we're going to be dealing with those issues. So hopefully it'll work out well for us.
Yeah. Well, look, Mike, again, thank you very, very much for your time. And we definitely appreciate your support as a sponsor of one of our premium sponsors with SMAR. And thanks for taking the time today. And with that, thank you very much.
How about
okay, Chris, you keep up the good work. And Richard, good to see you in your casual attire.
So tell me, Mike, before we hang up here, and we're recording this, as you well know, what's the prediction for DeMatha basketball this coming year?
Well, I think they'll have a winning season.
Oh, really? Boy, that's great. You know,
I can't remember a year when they didn't have a winning season. So,
yep.
Yeah, but it's great. I'm going to be rooting for Riken though this year. They'll be playing down at St. Mary's College. I'm assuming we're going to get this stuff worked out before basketball season comes. But I always look forward to that game, and because I get to see my alma mater, you know, playing my favorite hometown team. So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much.
See you later.